All right, guys, thank you for joining in. For attendees who have already joined, we'll start the webinar in a minute or two. Let's give some time for attendees to join in. We'll start the webinar in a minute. Okay, it's 3 minutes already. We'll wait for the attendees to join, but I think it's a good time to start the session. So the session is already getting recorded. So anybody who will join in will get a copy of the recording. So with that, let me start the session. Thank you very much for joining this AWS Threat Protection Immersion Day. The speakers for today, for almost an hour and a half long session, is Lokesh Shetty, me from Sumo Logic. But I'll let the speakers briefly introduce themselves. Since James is going to take on the session, let me request Suresh to introduce himself first to all of you.
Hey, thank you, Lokesh. Hi, everyone. My name is Suresh Govindachetty. I am part of the solution engineering group for Sumo Logic in India. That's a brief introduction about myself. James, over to you.
Thank you very much. Hello all, I'm James Schaefer, Partner Sales Solutions Architect with AWS. I've been with AWS as a Solutions Architect for around about 2 years now. During that time, I've worked with organizations representing both partners and customers of AWS. Thank you very much.
I'm Lokesh Shetty from Sumo Logic, predominantly security pre-sales, and I'll be with Suresh and James. So I'll be conducting today's session on Sumo Logic on AWS. So that's our agenda for today. A quick view of what we will be covering today. Introduction to Cloud SIEM with AWS and Sumo Logic. Sumo Logic, which is Cloud SIEM solution of Sumo Logic, which is powered by AWS. There will be some activities that we will conduct. There are hands-on labs session that we will cover today. With a small break, we will continue with some advanced capabilities, features, hands-on exercises for what Cloud SIEM can do for you. And that will be on a training environment made available to you. And then we'll close it up with question and answers or any questions that we find in the chat. So feel free to put in your questions on chat, and towards the end, we'll take them up. Now, with that, let me pass it on to James to cover the first few slides on AWS organization and account structure.
Excellent. Thanks, Lokesh. To help us better understand the power of Sumo Logic Cloud SIEM on AWS, first, let's understand better the data sources and the integration. So we'll start with the AWS Security Reference Architecture. The AWS SRA is a holistic set of guidelines for deploying the full complement of AWS security services in a multi-account environment. It can be used to help design, implement, and manage AWS security services so that they align with AWS recommended practices. The AWS SRA is a living set of guidance, and it's updated periodically based on new service and feature releases, customer feedback, and the constantly changing threat landscape. The architecture and accompanying recommendations are based on our collective experience with AWS enterprise customers. You may need to modify and tailor these recommendations to suit your individual environment and security needs. The diagram on the screen here captures the high-level structure of the AWS security reference architecture, but it does not display the specific services. It reflects the dedicated account structure, and it's helpful to visualize this structure as we discuss the primary components of the architecture. All accounts that are shown in the diagram are part of a single AWS organization. AWS organizations and an appropriate multi-account strategy are necessary elements of your security architecture. Properly separating workloads, teams, and functions provides a foundation for separation of duties and defense in-depth strategies. At the upper left of the diagram is the org management account, and this is used to create the AWS organization. Below the org management account is the security OU with two specific accounts, one for security tooling and the other for log archive. And we'll dive a little deeper into these two accounts in the following slides. Along the right side is the infrastructure OU, along with the network account and shared services account. At the bottom of the diagram is the workloads OU, which is associated with the application accounts that houses the enterprise applications. Next slide, please. The security tooling account is dedicated to operating security services, monitoring AWS accounts, and automating security alerting and response. There are a few objectives of the security tooling account. Firstly, provide a dedicated account to manage access to security guardrails, to monitoring, and to response. Secondly, maintain the appropriate centralized security infrastructure to monitor security operations data and maintain traceability. This data can support detection, investigation, and response, which are essential parts of the security lifecycle and can be used within a quality process, a legal or compliance obligation, and the threat identification and response efforts. Thirdly, the security tooling account serves as the administrator account for security services that are managed in an administrator-member structure. And finally, the security tooling account supports a defense in-depth organization strategy by maintaining another layer of control over the appropriate security configuration and operations, such as encryption keys and security group settings. This is the account where security operators work. Next slide, please. The log archive account is dedicated to ingesting and archiving all security-related logs and backups. The security objectives of the log archive account are immutable storage, accessed only by controlled, automated, and monitored mechanisms. Controls can be implemented at depth to protect the integrity and availability of logs and log management process. It's built for durability, for example, by using the appropriate replication and archival process. In addition to the preventative controls, such as assisting least privilege roles, use detective controls such as AWS config to monitor and potentially alert if permissions unexpectedly changes. And next slide, please. So now we have the context around the SRA architecture. We can touch on how the Sumo Logic Cloud SIEM integrates and gathers data from the wider AWS organization. As per the SRA, the security tooling account is the delegated administration account for Amazon GuardDuty. Within the delegated administration account, ensure that GuardDuty is enabled and correctly configured. As findings are generated by GuardDuty in the workload accounts, they flow to the security tooling account and are exported as CloudWatch as events. And finally, Sumo Logic's event processor passes the findings to Sumo Logic hosted collector. So that's a high-level overview. I'm actually going to pass back to Lokesh now for a bit of a deep dive. So thank you very much, Lokesh.
Thank you, James, for that interesting overview about the AWS. Now, before I talk about Sumo Logic as the continuous intelligence platform, purely from the security and threat protection perspective, let's look at some customer challenges and then how that can be resolved for customers. Now, a few examples of customer challenges, the top 3 that we found in our interaction with customers is if they're looking for a solution with multi-cloud support. Because existing customers who are using some legacy SIEM solutions, the legacy SIEM platform or product, they aren't exactly built for the cloud or multi-cloud rather. Now, even if the legacy SIEM solution does the job well for on-premise products and setup, The shift in the current threat landscape, the whole digital transformation programs that customers are adopting, migrating their setup products, the complete infrastructure to cloud, has introduced new threat vectors or threat surface, which needs to be covered for both on-premise and on cloud. So the lack of on-premise products covering that is another challenge which customers face. Again, speaking of solutions, customers who have not adopted cloud security solution or a cloud threat protection solution, the amount of alerts or signals, rather, the amount of actions that they have to take introduces a common problem that a lot of CISOs across the world have identified in the last few years, and that's alert fatigue. Huge spike in the number of alerts. Every single alert that needs to be monitored, looked into, classified as a true positive or a false positive. That's a human scale problem, and you can't expect every SOC or security analyst to go through thousands and thousands of alerts to look at that, to identify which incident to work on, and take it forward. Now, there are many other customer challenges, but assuming these three are the top three challenges that a lot of customers face, that's where, as a problem solver, Sumo Logic Cloud SIEM powered by AWS comes in. Key takeaways on how do we solve these problems are: we reduce the complexity. The solution that brings down the blind spots in an on-premise or a hybrid or a multi-cloud infrastructure, any deployment that the customer has. And this helps the customer to take up their digital transformation program to accelerate their modernization of security. We complement and we drive the expansion of AWS security services, existing services, infrastructure that the customer use, and help them provide rich security context on what's happening in their infrastructure. We enable AWS support for multi-cloud with all the data which it will continue to remain in AWS. And Sumo Logic as a Cloud SIEM platform, as a complete platform for cloud intelligence, can be bought directly through the AWS marketplace. So it's easy for customers who are already on AWS or who want to just go to the marketplace and click and buy. Now, continuing the conversation of challenges and how customers can solve that, there are two options on a very high level which are available for customers across their requirement range. And those two options are a customer who does not have a SOC at all. So they would probably struggle to maintain their security posture because they don't have a security operations center. And Cloud SIEM for them can help them quickly detect automatic threat detection, can quickly help them detect and respond to security issues. Things like compliance readiness, low total cost of ownership. It will integrate with all the existing data sources, whether it's on-premise, cloud, SaaS services, collect the data, get them in a single Cloud SIEM enterprise solution, and automatically analyze, help them visualize the security data, automatically detect threats, detect security incidents, send alert on security events. And this will be done by integrating with the security rules that Sumo Logic as a solution provides, as well as the global threat intelligence that we provide to customers. So first option for a customer who does not have a SOC at all, Cloud SIEM can definitely help them by offering these points which are highlighted on the screen. Now, let's talk about customers who already have a SOC, and the problems that they face would be they can't keep up pace with the evolving number of threats or the huge amount of alerts that they get to see. What problems can Sumo Logic Cloud SIEM solution solve for them? Now, in that scenario, for a customer who already has a SOC, next generation or advanced analytics or automation as part of the SOC, as part of a security operations center, is what Sumo Logic offers. We help normalize all the data that has been collected, and that can be at scale. You can send data in terabytes per day to us, and we enrich that content, enrich the content with the threat intelligence. We normalize and enrich it for the customers to easily identify what records are coming in and what alerts are they generating automatically. While we do that, every single log that has been collected and sent to Sumo Logic Cloud SIEM, there is an entity-based correlation, not just a cross-device correlation of what activity is happening, but we provide an out-of-the-box entity-based correlation. There are more than 800 security rules provided by Sumo Logic, but we also allow customers and partners to create their own custom rules to identify an entity or a user-based threat or an insider threat. So what we do for customers who already have a SOC is probably if they go for Sumo Logic Cloud SIEM, they will be able to leverage our automated or automation built into SOC, the machine learning based cross-device entity-based correlation model that we offer. We provide a global confidence score for every single incident that we identify, thereby helping customers to reduce the number of false positives that they look into. On a very high level, key pointers on what kind of options are available for customers who either have a SOC or don't have a SOC. So Sumo Logic Cloud SIEM is meant for customers who are across the requirement paradigm. For a minute, let's talk about the Sumo Logic platform, the complete platform, because as a unified platform, Sumo Logic is not limited to security or just Cloud SIEM or Cloud SOAR. We'll cover the security portion from the next slide, but let's talk about the intelligence platform that we offer. Now, we did talk about, I am getting a bandwidth message, so let me just switch this off. We did talk about digital transformation, and in customer scenario, these kind of migration or digital transformation, they require continuous intelligence. They require constant visualization for their business, for their application, for their infrastructure, which can help them leverage a completely new category of applications, software, continuous intelligence, or let's call it real-time analytics or real-time insights from across their infrastructure, whether it's their on-premise or cloud infrastructure. And these kind of real-time analytics or real-time insights should be made available to the customers, possibly in a single centralized platform. And that's what we do. We provide a single cloud-native platform across multiple use cases, some of them which are highlighted here. These use cases are provided to customers to speed decision-making and to drive world-class customer experience. So our analytics, the core offering of Sumo Logic, observability, our analytics across operations, across security, across business and global intelligence, provides customers the constant continuous awareness, which helps them get better results. Just a quick view on the type of intelligence or the type of analytics. An example of operational intelligence would be, and let me quickly use a pointer here for better reference. Yep. Operational intelligence would be whether my systems are up and running, what is my mean time to identify or mean time to resolve a problem or an issue. And in general, health check and health concerns of the complete infrastructure. Use case examples for security intelligence, who is using root access right now? Is the administrator or the person logging in from multiple locations simultaneously? And whether they have, whether my SIEM solution, Sumo Logic SIEM, has picked up these kind of act of multiple geographical login as an actionable item, as an actionable insight. Those information can be shown in a security intelligence dashboard or analytical dashboard. Few use case examples for business intelligence is what particular web page or a page on my mobile application are users frequently viewing? What are they ordering? Are they spending too much time on the checkout page? If I run a marketing campaign, was it successful or not for the end users visiting my website? So those kind of use cases and much more. And when it comes to global intelligence, this is how I'm doing compared to other organizations, other companies, and who are observing their data worldwide. So these kind of data-driven intelligence to extract real-time, to show you real-time insights and business value from huge amount or huge volume of data, which is generated in form of logs, in form of metrics or events, event traces and metadata and other telemetry data from your organization. These data come from your applications as a customer, from microservices, from cloud systems, infrastructure, any SaaS service or mobile device, and third-party systems or feeds that you may be using. So what we have done as Sumo Logic, since you are generating huge amount of logs, events, and metrics and traces, we have built in applications that will provide you immediate functionality, and it will probably exceed 85% or more than 85% of your immediate query and analytical needs. Example of some analytical features that we have, or basically the information that we provide, is we provide you advanced analytics, machine learning out of the box directly. So as soon as you send your data to Sumo Logic, these kind of dashboards and few more, which we'll show you in this webinar today, will help you get a lot of insights about your applications. If you're looking for compliance certifications like ISO 27K or HIPAA or SOC 2 type 2 reports or NPCI compliance, these kind of compliance dashboards, operational intelligence dashboards, security insights, business intelligence, and more than 300 out of the box ready dashboards in form of applications is what we make available to your team. So your data, which is collected from multiple sources, our analytics giving you insights into your operations, business, security, and much more. And finally, your people, which means your team and multiple teams across your organization, they can achieve continuous collaboration, whether it's your DevOps team, your engineering team, your IT team, customer success, let's say product team, data scientist, security operations. All of these team members can access Sumo Logic Cloud Platform because data is coming from multiple sources. We are collecting data from across devices from your organization. So the insights that we show will match and easily map to different use cases of these teams in your organization. So one single source providing you real-time insights across your organization's infrastructure, a single source of truth to facilitate collaborative thinking. And by that, I mean it will eventually help an organization to speed their decision making. So one single platform providing analytics across teams, across line of businesses, showing you insights which will help you take decisions faster. If I specifically want to talk about security in the platform, Sumo Logic platform, there are three main areas for security intelligence solution, right? So on the left, we have audit and compliance, so which is highly scalable, secure platform, which can store all of your data, all of your logs, and this is backed by numerous attestations, numerous certifications. So we collect your data collection is scalable. We ingest it from both on-premise and cloud platform, and we use a out-of-the-box pre-built compliance dashboards or out-of-the-box pre-built compliance applications, which will help you experience a rapid time to value for your security audits, ready dashboards for your internal or external security audits. Moving to the middle part, the second area of security intelligence that is offered by the platform is security analytics. Now, this security analytics is where you build onto the intelligence of which is provided by Sumo Logic by performing deep search or using your data for any correlation that is required to analyze your security event logs generated from your endpoint, perimeter, or any other security service and solution. The way you do that is we use our pre-built dashboards, again, ready applications, ready dashboards out of the box. And what we provide you immediately is visibility, and you can generate any alerts for scenarios that you want to monitor. Example, downtime, availability, resource utilization, access, authentication, and much more. So what Sumo Logic provides is advanced analytics, and this can be used for troubleshooting by a customer. Examples of those scenarios which can be used for troubleshooting would be we integrate threat intelligence. So we can integrate and add threat intelligence via our industry-leading CrowdStrike. We have a tie-up with CrowdStrike threat intel feed. This can help you detect and generate alerts for any anomalies, which can be created out of dashboards, panels, highlighting outliers for scenarios or for access, authentication, and user behavior. There are some unique features called log reduce and log compare, which is provided by the Sumo Logic platform. This utilizes a machine learning technology to rapidly move and shift through large amount of logs or data sets. And this will help you perform time-based log comparisons between event sources, same event source, multiple days, thereby looking at a historical or past activity and behavior for a specific application or infrastructure. We also have community threat benchmarking, which uses the global intelligence service, comparing your AWS, let's say GuardDuty and CloudTrail threat data to that of other Sumo Logic customers. So that kind of community threat intelligence benchmarking is also provided by the security analytics component of Sumo Logic. And the third security component, third specific area for security that Sumo Logic provides is our Cloud SIEM. Our Cloud SIEM component, it offers you continuous automatic threat correlation going back weeks, days, you can go back 1 year, or as small as just last few hours. So we correlate data, every single log that is being collected in the last few hours, in the last few weeks, in the last few, let's say 1 full year, across your infrastructure, on-premise, cloud, multi-cloud, hybrid cloud, all of your data sources. And we do that using our out-of-the-box content and security rules, more than 850 rules from day one for every single customer. We streamline security analyst workflow, the whole interface, which we will show you in the next few minutes. The whole workflow of Sumo Logic Cloud SIEM is designed, it's streamlined for a SOC analyst, for a security analyst, the typical workflow that they follow every day. So it's built by security analyst for the security analyst. We understand what SOC or security analysts have to do every single day when they look at new alerts or new incidents. The way we have done that is we have built in event management. We have built in collaboration by a SOC team members. And this will, the workflow, the design that Sumo Logic has will eventually help your team to work better and efficiently. We have also introduced SOC automation. There is multiple automated incident or incident prioritization, working on the alerts, triaging these alerts, and help eliminate the noise or bring down the false positives, which will solve the problem of alert fatigue, one of the customer challenges that we talked about in slide 3. So these 3 areas of security intelligence is provided by Sumo Logic. When we talk about Cloud SIEM, there are multiple applications or ready dashboards that we support. The core platform which Sumo Logic offers, where we provide you real-time visibility, where we provide you analytics, quick view of what's happening in your infrastructure. We have more than 200 ready applications, more than 200 ready dashboards, which about half of them are for security. These applications, these dashboards, sorry for that, will help you get started immediately. As soon as you send your logs, events to Sumo Logic, you can immediately start gaining insights from your data source. And this can be done by providing example search. You can use dashboards for common use cases, which we discussed a few seconds ago. And the best part is every single dashboard, and I'll show you one for example, the customers can edit them as per their requirement, as per the results that they desire. So if you're looking for a dashboard for your firewall, for your AWS service, for any on-premise device, even threat intelligence based dashboards, these are provided out of the box. The dashboard which you can see right now is an example which you can immediately fire up and look at insights as soon as you send data to Sumo Logic. So in a nutshell, analytics, real-time visibility of all of your data across all of your infrastructure, or observability in a single pane, along with security analytics, security intelligence, and Cloud SIEM, which is automatic threat detection. To switch from a theoretical explanation of what Sumo Logic does as a platform, we have a demo planned as well to show you some security dashboards, the app catalog, what can be seen in multiple panels. And I'll request help from my colleague Suresh here to walk you through the next few slides and the demo setup.
Thank you, Lokesh. Hi, everyone. I am Suresh. I am going to walk you through a demo, which is a live usage of the platform to see how Sumo Logic works in action. So let me share my screen now. For this workshop, we are actually going to use an account to log in into the platform. And then we are going to fire up some queries to understand how the platform works. So for that, we have created the portal for you. I'm just pasting the details here so that you can log in into the platform. So there is a URL. You can log in using this URL. Use the username training plus analyst, and there are 3 hashes here. Instead of the 3 hashes, you can put in any 3-digit number. It can be like training plus analyst 123, something like that, right? At sumologic.com. The password is mentioned here. So after you log in, please put in the 3-digit number that you have used so that others do not use the same number as yours. So for example, I'm using 235. So I have put that here. So others will not use this particular. They can use any other 3-digit number to log in. Thank you, Lokesh, for sharing the details for the team to log in. So let us get started with the lab sessions now. If you're not able to log in, let us know, put in a comment here, and then we will be in a position to guide you further. So with the Sumo Logic platform, as Lokesh explained, we will be able to provide you a complete overview of the platform. You can bring in any security data and you can create your own customized dashboards. So what we show you here is a customized dashboard, a security overview dashboard for an imaginary customer. So this customer is tracking the user access, that you can see the single sign-on and the non-single sign-on login locations. You can also see interesting panel here, which is a suspicious login distances. So you can see there is a user who has logged in from 2 different countries, which are separated by a large distance within a short span of within a couple of hours. So this basically shows this requires further validation from the security team to see if the account is still being used in a sane way or whether there is any account compromise. You can also see the other factors being monitored here, like the network traffic and data exfiltration. You can look at VPC flow logs, firewall traffic, etc. You can also see some pink triangles here. These pink triangles show that there is an anomaly detection which has actually happened. So the anomaly detection is an unsupervised machine learning component from Sumo Logic. And what anomaly detection helps is to identify any out of the normal event. So here you can see there is a huge jump with respect to the VPC flow logs. So the pink triangles that you see here, they basically tell you that this is an anomalous event which is not conforming to a previous trend. So having seen enough, let's get on to the hands-on sessions now. So you can log in with these details here. So I'm just pasting it again so that you can have the details handy for you to get into the platform. And once you log in, please put in the 3-digit number into the chat so that others do not use the same number to log in. So the first lab session is going to be about monitoring users login from different IP addresses. I'm sharing this guide as well. So feel free to use this guide to get all the details about the lab sessions today. So you can access this. We have provided access to this particular document for you. So to simplify things, we are going to fire in a query, which is going to basically look into the CloudTrail logs. It is going to look into the console login, and then it is actually going to tell us users login from multiple different IP addresses. So I have the session open here. So I'm able to log in. You can see my account, training analyst 235 at sumologic.com. So I have copy pasted this command for the ease of it. So we can just do it again here. So I'm going in and I'm going to look at my CloudTrail logs. So I can copy this, and once I click new search, I can paste it here. So this basically brings in all my logs from CloudTrail, and it is filtering out for all my console logins. So like this, you can basically extract all the fields. You can see up to here, we are actually extracting all those different fields. So I'm just copying this. You can copy paste or you can type it. It's as per your wish. But in the interest of time, and just to show you how the platform works, I'm copy pasting stuff here. So you can see the various different fields extracted, and we are filtering the data where the console login is equal to success. Now we are just going to sort this, and then we are going to see this data here. And you can see the ARNs, the source IP address, and the totals here. So you can see the single IP address from where multiple console logins are actually happening. So this is how we can actually use the platform for monitoring various different security related aspects. Let's get on to the second lab activity over here. While this particular data is very useful, I would also like to visualize this geographically, which will make more sense. So what I can do here is that we can make use of the geo functionality, the geo view functionality that Sumo Logic provides. So here I am going to ask the system to look up for the latitude, longitude details from the source IP addresses, which are seen inside my CloudTrail logs. And I'm going to count by latitude, longitude. So you can see here, the system throwing up interesting results here. So you can see this data. I can visualize it by going to this map-based view. So this shows me the various different regions from which people are actually logging in. So this helps me to visualize the source of the connections. So this is pretty useful rather than displaying a table which shows me all this particular data. So let's get on to the activity number 2. Here we are going to use this particular use case, testing the threat intel lookup with sample indicators of compromise. So with Sumo Logic, we provide you a free threat intelligence feed. This threat intel feed contains information about malicious IP addresses, URLs, domains, hash256 values, etc. So in this particular lab exercise, we are going to use this threat intel feed, and we are going to see whether there are any malicious IP addresses present inside your logs. So for that, we are going to run this particular query. So this query will return only one result by using the limit operator. And the lookup operator is what we are going to use for this particular IP address to see if it is a known threat. So I am just copying these commands for now. If you want, you can type it out. You can experiment with it yourself. So I'm opening up the new log search here. So I am taking this particular IP address as a threat, and you can see there is a lookup, which basically does a lookup with the threat intel table. So I will ask the system to run this particular command, and I can choose any time duration I want using this interface. So here you can see the system has actually identified that this is actually seen as a threat here. The data does exist, and you can see the malicious confidence is shown as low here, and there is no actor seen inside this particular threat intel correlation. So I can go ahead and I can rearrange my fields as well. Say, for example, I want to rearrange or display the fields in a different format. So here I'm looking at my threat. I'm looking at data exists, malicious confidence, and actor. So here I can actually look at rearranging my data. Like I want to look at my threat, malicious confidence, data exists, actor, etc. So the system will reorganize data as per your requirements. If you want, you can exclude some fields as well. So you can do all of that using Sumo Logic as a platform. So we saw 2 use cases so far. So this basically helps you to understand the Sumo Logic platform, the user interface, how the platform looks, how you can run deep searches, how you can you do the threat correlations, etc. Right. So feel free to ask any questions that you have. Feel free to play around with the platform. You can create your own free account. We provide 30 days free trial, so you can try out the platform for all the specific use cases that you have. Right. That's pretty much about the lab session. I believe the lab session actually gave you a good experience about how the Sumo Logic platform looks. Feel free to explore the platform. And if you have any questions, please feel free to raise these questions to us. Right. That's pretty much what I wanted to show you today. Back to you, Lokesh.
Thank you, Suresh. I was checking some messages on chat and Q&A. So we were getting the 3-digit numbers that attendees are using. So, because I guess the chat is disabled for them.
Okay.
With that, so yeah, so we have participants who did access, but take your time. There will be a break in between, and you can practice these 2 activities, the queries that Suresh presented, that can be practiced by you, and the access is live. The password, the account, the 3-digit account number that you have picked, this will be live and active throughout the month. So feel free to navigate, access, practice hands-on. It's not everything that you can do with Sumo Logic. There are a few more things that you can play around with, which is Cloud SIEM. But before we get there, quick view, what Suresh helped us, 3 key takeaways from what we did, the activities that Suresh helped you perform, and they are available on the handout, the Google Drive link, and the PDF attachment that we have shared on Zoom. Deep search, we did a foundational correlation or alerting, the option of alerting, which Suresh explained. Data enrichment, getting a panel out, visualization, and which will eventually help you in troubleshooting incidents. So detect issues, investigate. The detection, investigation, and the response part is what we will cover. I had planned a break now, but let me push it back around maybe 9:30 or so. So I'll push the break back for a bit later to continue for this session for the next 15 or let's say 18 odd minutes. Let me give you a high level overview of what more you can do with Sumo Logic. Like what we covered now was analytics, observability, search, or getting the visualization from the data that you have sent. What you can also do with cloud security, information, event management, or Cloud SIEM is this particular component is available in the training platform. This is born and built in the cloud. It's not ported over from an on-premise installation to cloud. It's not running on virtual machines within AWS. This is actually built on AWS. It's born and built on the cloud. That provides unparalleled scalability to the solution. At the product level, it focuses on actual security events, not some metrics monitoring or just plain log analytics. Our Sumo Logic SIEM solution, we correlate threats and incidents in real time across your operating system, your firewall, your EDR, your IDS solution, your network traffics, your spam filters, and many other sources from where data will come in. Now we'll go through a quick workshop, which is focused on security, which is focused on Cloud SIEM, and you'll see some examples of, let's say, how false positives or alerts, security alerts, are reduced. How can you match your alerts to a framework known as MITRE ATT&CK framework? And how can you cluster or bring all these alerts together into a final actionable insight? The user interface, I'll show that to you. You have access to it in the same training platform. The UI will give you a central heads-up display, a screenshot of which is present on this slide. This display is kind of like a single pane of glass to show you all the information that a SOC analyst wants to look at before they start the workflow, before they start the investigation, right? There are some key technical points in a production environment. A SIEM solution, any SIEM solution, needs volume and variety. Volume is important for cross-device, entity-based correlation. The same thing is for variety as well. So what we have done in the training environment is we are getting logs, some sample data from an EDR, from firewall, from an intrusion detection system, and that has helped us derive these alerts and these incidents. So what we'll do right now is let's take you through a guided investigation. These are things that I'll be carrying out on the console. So what we can do is, if you already have access, and let me just stop sharing and share my full screen. Just give me a minute for that. Okay, so I'll share my full desktop so that I can go to the training console. So even like you guys, I have access service.sumologic.com. The 3-digit number that I have used, I missed out sharing that on chat, is 057. Now, you can use this for the log search functionality, the activities that Suresh guided you, but you will also see an option on the left-hand side here, which is Cloud SIEM Enterprise. So if you want to go through a guided investigation of, let's say, alerts and incidents that we see, click on the Cloud SIEM Enterprise on the left-hand section, and you will see this head unit display, a display showing you all the records that are coming into your console, every single alert that has been generated automatically. And these alerts are generated whenever we find a direct match to our security content, security rules, or threat intel that we provide. But we don't want you as a SOC analyst or a security analyst to go through every single signal. Just to show you what a signal would look like, there would be multiple alerts from your Windows. There will be severity attached to it, to your type of access, your device-based information. There will be every single activity which has some implication, some impact, which will match our security rule, multiple failed logins from a new geography. It will be an alert with a different severity, and the severity will be between 1 to 10. But as a security analyst, we don't really want a team to spend time in analyzing these alerts and signals. So what we do is we correlate not just the logs, not just the records, but we correlate alerts and signals as well. We cluster these alerts, bring them together if they make sense, if they show that there is a possible incident, there is a chain of event which is leading to an incident, and we finally create incidents or actionable insights. So in the last 24 hours, and you can play around with this time slice, 2 insights are something that we can look at, and they are represented as triangles here. So all the outer circle line are the records. There are different ways in which we are presenting it. so that in a quick view, as a SOC analyst, I'll get to know there is a dip in the record, there are multiple alerts generated, but finally there are 2 incidents or 2 signals that I have to investigate, right? So let me click on these insights, and you can do this later. We'll share the deck or the step with you. But when I click on the actionable insights, again, the filter is last 24 hours. I see 2 insights here, and both of them are in the new section. They are new insights. As a SOC analyst, as a security analyst, I can pick one of them. I can change the status of in progress. So let me do that with the one that I had identified, which is persistent access, initial access. Let me first move it to in progress, which means as a security analyst, I would be working on it. And I'll then click on the name so that I can open and see all the information that Sumo Logic has made available for this particular incident for a SOC analyst like me to investigate. Now, there are many things that I can see for this. The name itself, which is persistent access, initial access, highlights what kind of incident this might be. Maybe some program, maybe some script, which might have got access to my critical infrastructure. Now, the first thing as a security analyst in part of a guided investigation is I'll look at the number of signals which has been clustered together automatically by the Sumo Logic algorithm. So there are 4 signals. If I look at the signals in a specific order, the first signal is an alert received by a system that I use in my organization called Proofpoint. And it's a possible phishing incident or a phishing, some user in my organization, this one specifically, has clicked on a URL in the email, which might be possibly a phishing link. So we have the URL. If I want to investigate the signal in depth, I click on the signal name and I get to see all the information that I need. What was the source IP? What's the destination URL? If I want to investigate it further, I can investigate the URL and verify this URL against multiple search, abuse.ip. I can check it against, let's say, a Zeus tracker or any Intel feed. But once I've confirmed that, yes, this particular link or this particular event is a phishing link, the order that this particular incident is highlighting that there is possibly a phishing incident, which has resulted into a script or a file download. So this script and file download was captured by the Checkpoint solution. So we received a signal, we received an alert from Checkpoint as well. So somebody clicked on a phishing email, they downloaded something on their system. We have the IP's address, we have the username, what kind of program, what kind of file was downloaded. That has been matched against the threat intelligence. So in an order of an incident, because someone clicked on a phishing email, they downloaded something at the backend, that program has been identified as a malicious file hash against the threat intel that we provide to customers. The list that the file matches is it's possibly an APT, indicator of compromise. It's possibly an executable which will look for data, send the data to a command and control center. And finally, one of the solutions in my organization, which is CrowdStrike, detected an event or detected a file and program which is lurking around into different systems or maybe laterally moving around in my system. So that's why these 4 signals in the current example is highlighting that a program was downloaded. It's currently moving around. It has not yet sent data outside. Severity would have been high if we detected data exfiltration or the data going outside. But still there is a program. There is a program with this particular file name, matches the categories of APT, and it has been identified on multiple systems. That's why persistent access with initial access being phishing. So as a SOC analyst, as a security analyst, I would look at all these signals, do my investigation on every single signal, look at the severities, and based on that, I can either change the severity to high, or I can add a comment. I can go and add a comment to my for my team to take action. Possibly the system on which the file has been downloaded, we need to isolate that. We need to scan it. We need to send a notification to the organization, all the employees. Please don't click on XYZ email. For that, there are multiple actions that can be taken, and these actions can be modified based on your organization or the solution that you use. Send an email, send an ITSM ticket, send a notification to a response team member, or integrate with a solution which can implement policies automatically, kind of like a SOAR solution. By the way, Sumo Logic has our own SOAR solution. So we can send these incidents as an action. We can send this insight and incident to a SOAR solution, which will then take on automatic response. There will be a proper playbook in place, which will create policies in my EDR solution, isolate the endpoint where the program has been downloaded, scan the system, and then send a report. So whether the response or the action is manual or automated, both of these can be executed by you. And then feel free to play around with the system, look at multiple insights. If you're interested in looking more insights, not just these two which are provided in this sample training environment, you can go back to the home page by clicking on the logo, change the timestamp from 24 hours to, let's say, 3 days or 7 days, because this training environment keeps getting data every single hour. And you can click on all the 14 insights and look at the type of incidents that we are showing in the new category. Click on any one of them based on the name, look at the signals, and feel free to move around and play around. What we did as a summary quickly is we looked at one of the insights, which was initial access, persistent access. We moved it to in progress and clicked on the insight for investigation. On a very high level, we saw how many signals the insight was created, because both signal creation and insight creation is automatic. Sumo Logic does that for you. But the signal creation or alert creation is basically whenever there is a direct match between your log or your record and our security content, like rules and threat intel. But multiple signals hinting at a possible security incident, that is clustered together, that is pieced and brought together as a story in a specific ascending order, and then we create an insight for that. So things that we analyzed is every single signal or alert had a separate different severity point. And I can take you back to the page where we looked at the signals for this particular insight. So the first signal has a severity 4, the second one 3, and so on. So in this example, multiple signals which are creating insights automatically. The thumb rule is we add up the severity points for every single alert. If the total is, let's say, more than 12, the system, Sumo Logic, can automatically create an insight for you. So every single insight in the platform, all the insights that you see here are combination, are clustered signals where the severity count, addition of all the severities are about 12. But that does not mean that you cannot create your own insight. If you go to the signals tab, if you look at the multiple alerts that we have captured, and let's say there is an IP detection or a brute force attack, I'll just pick up one particular event to show you what you can do manually as well. As a security analyst, if you see this as a problem, not this one in specific, but if you see this as a problem, we do create insights automatically, but even you as a security analyst can create insights manually. If you find the alert or if you find the signal which might be problematic for your organization or for a specific use case that you're trying, insights can be created manually as well by you. So this is what we covered. Conclusion is a user has received a phishing email. Checkpoint detected that a malicious file or a script has been downloaded. It was allowed from the same IP address. It also detected a malicious event, possibly calling a Trojan or a zip file to be downloaded. And finally, CrowdStrike detected alert on that particular user IP. So if these are the signals that we observed on the training platform in Cloud SIEM, what conclusions can a security analyst arrive at? The insight or the incident is showing us that there has been a phishing attack. So as an action, as a response, we can reach out to the user, confirm that what did they click on, whether it was a direct link of a website or something that they received on email. Once we get that confirmation, we can isolate the endpoint, clean the system, scan the system, probably re-image it and provide it to the user, and also send out a mass communication to everyone that there has been a phishing incident. Please be aware of what emails you receive and verify the link before you click on it. Steps covered as a response, we can send an email to a SOC team, send a notification, create a ticket automatically, or inform the relevant incident response team to take action. Finally, after that, we can close the insight, add the resolution comment, any additional comments, and then we can close the insight so that it is removed from the list. It's never deleted from the database, but the insights are removed from the list so that you can go back to the insight page as a security analyst, pick up another incident and start working on it in a similar fashion. Before we take a break, a 5-minute break, a quick overview of the workflow. So a day in the life of a security analyst is access the Cloud SIEM page for Sumo Logic, look at the insight based on priority, based on when did we identify it. Click on the insight, navigate to the main page and look at multiple signals that has been captured and clustered together. Make a conclusion based on every single alert, every single insight. In the example that we covered, we found a malicious URL which was clicked. The threat intel matched the link. Something was downloaded that was found to be malicious. Finally, take an action. Inform your team, send an email, or take automatic action by creating policies in your EDR. And finally, update the status of the insight. Add resolution comments, close the ticket, and then go back to step 1, which is pick up another insight and carry out with the same workflow for any new incidents identified. Now, with this is an ongoing workflow. That's why the whole user interface has been designed in such a manner that we show new incidents captured, all the alerts in a single place. The latest incident is displayed on the top right corner, and every single activity that a SOC analyst would perform is displayed as a small audit trail on the right-hand bottom section of the page. The complete user interface of Sumo Logic Cloud SIEM has been designed by keeping security analysts in mind. So with that, we can go through one more investigation, but let me use this opportunity to take a small 5-minute break. You can feel free, take a break, take a comfort break. Let's come back in 5 minutes. You can also utilize this time to check the handout, pick a 3-digit number if you have already not done that, access the training website service.sumologic.com. And let's continue with one more example, probably using screenshots, using slides of what you can do with a similar incident, but a different category of security threat. So let me not stop the recording. Let me use a timer here. This was an idea given to me by Suresh. Let's start the 5-minute break and see you back in 5 minutes. Thank you, guys. All right. I'll just give a few more seconds for participants to come back while I share my screen. Just give me a minute. Okay. So we saw the UI, we saw the user interface for Cloud SIEM. So we can also let's take another incident or a similar security insight, for example. I'll use slides for this. You can go to the training environment, use your 3-digit ID. So the one that I used was training plus analyst 057. Pick up any 3-digit number and log into the environment. On the left-hand section, you will see Cloud SIEM Enterprise. Click on Cloud SIEM Enterprise. The main head unit display will show you a list of all the records, all the signals, and the insights. We picked up an insight for persistent access, persistent and initial access, showing us that there is a phishing incident that is being captured. In a similar example, and just to show you the workflow and maybe test your knowledge, I know that chat has been disabled, but feel free to answer it in Q&A or answer it or just see if the questions can be answered for a similar example. If I pick up an incident called, let's say, a command and control that has been identified, the customer goes and investigates this particular insight, right? Now, in this particular insight, pick up any insight in the training environment. The example that I am taking is a customer command and control center. Have a look at all the signals in the insight. What is the first signal suggesting? Pick up, I guess in the training environment, there are 2 insights. The first one is what we picked up. The second one, and let me quickly check that at my end, is possibly titled as discovery and execution, which possibly is discovery of your infrastructure or system and execution of a malware. So pick up that incident, look at all the signals, and you can do this after the webinar, after the session. As a security analyst, as a SOC analyst, try to identify what the first signal, what the second signal suggests, and what do all these signals mean, and try to come to a conclusion the way we did for a phishing incident. We looked at the first signal, which shows that a phishing link was clicked. We looked at the second signal, which showed that a malicious file has been downloaded, which has been identified. We looked at the third signal, which shows that the file that has been downloaded is trying to pull in another zip file or a Trojan malware through a command and control center. No data exfiltration, but a file being downloaded and requested. Try to do that similar step, similar workflow for pick up another incident, possibly a discovery incident that you will see. Look at the signals and finally take some action. Feel free to move the insights, change the status, and you can do this as an exercise of kind of like a work after the webinar, right? We can discuss this, but I'll probably take an example again while I share my full screen. I'll pick up another one, but all the signals of second insight, let me do that in a minute. Let me stop my share. I'll do that while for a different incident. So I'll share my screen here. Right. So this was the one that we investigated in the last few minutes. If you go to the insight page again, the Sumo homepage for the last 24 hours, using your login, there you will find 2 to 3 insights. Pick up the second one. In my scenario, discovery with execution and initial access. Now, this particular insight, the single pane of glass that I would see would cover multiple signals. There are 3 signals here. The first one is enumeration of users from possibly an LDAP or an Active Directory. So that has been identified here. I can see the source, destination IP, which particular source IP was being used, what port is being used, and why the list of users or details of the users from the Active Directory or the LDAP is being enumerated. But you'll get to know because the second signal immediately is one of the users from the Active Directory or the LDAP. The account of that particular user is being used for a brute force attempt. So once you identify, get the list of users from your repository, attempt to log in using that user's identity was being attempted for XYZ IP address, but that issue, that alert was captured by Palo Alto. Now, maybe that was a success, maybe not, but we immediately, as continuation to this, as a chain of event, we found that a particular malware was being downloaded. So maybe this attempt was successful, but we immediately found on the same IP address that Cisco AMP identified that a malware has been identified, which has been detected, and the name of that file or malware is antivirusservice.exe. So these kind of investigation, which is access, execution of a malware, initial access of the system, you can identify that, look at the signals. Feel free to go inside every single alert, every single signal, and look at the details that we have captured. Not just the severity, but the information that we have captured from where, which particular geography is the IP of, what is the NAT IP region that we have identified, what is the file hash, what is the file name, which threat category does it fall into. Because these information are something that the security team look at. And finally, before taking an action, they add their comment that this is possibly a malware that has been downloaded after a brute force attempt on user XYZ. So feel free to do that. Access the training environment, look at new insights, and these insights will come up every single day, or just go back to the timestamp and change it to 7 days and look at all the 14 insights and play around with the signals, play around with the insights that we show in the Sumo Logic platform, right? Things that we did cover, that we did discuss is the signal, which is Active Directory. We saw an alert that there was a brute force attempt. Probably that account was not being used. Finally, after a successful attempt, a file was being downloaded, right? So these are the question and answers. I'll skip this. So what kind of signals do we show? How does that help a security team arrive at a conclusion based on the signals that Sumo Logic Cloud SIEM platform presents? Helps organization identify whether an issue is a true positive incident or whether an insight is a false positive incident. Now, with that, these two separate set of activities that we carried out, one which was conducted by Suresh for search, for visualization, and the other one that we did for Cloud SIEM. A key takeaway of the Cloud SIEM section is Sumo Logic CSE or Cloud SIEM Enterprise. The number of insights that we finally show. There are records, there are signals, and there are insights. The number of insights, it boils hundreds or thousands of alerts or signals and break it down to a handful manageable action insights. So the idea of the platform first is to break it down for you. There are millions of records coming in, logs and events, show you the alerts or the signals, thousands of signals, and then finally give you a handful manageable, actionable insights to act upon. So as a security team, you will look at the number of insights every day that you come in, that you look at the platform for your workflow. Even after that, when we bring down the focus on number of insights only, you can automate threat investigation. And this workflow for threat investigation is enriched with correlated data, correlated user data, the device data, the network data. Every single alert has all this information made available to you in a readable format, like we saw in the last two scenarios. Majority of the enrichment that we do, any IP address, any URL that you find inside an alert, just right click or click on the 6 dots next to it, and you will find that you can look up those URL, those IP to abuse.ch websites or multiple threat intel that we support out of the box. This is our way of enriching the content then and there immediately when you're looking at the information in an alert or signal. So simplifying the alerts, showing you the actionable insights, helping you investigate the threats, and finally automating actions. Once you're done with your investigation, the CSE rules, security rules, and the actions, they can automate your workflow, send a notification, inform team, create an IT ticket, or integrate with a source solution for a playbook, for an automated workflow. These kind of things, these kind of automated actions will help you improve your complete security team or SOC team's efficiency. So as a kind of like a key takeaway highlight, the Cloud SIEM Enterprise of Sumo Logic is an advanced AWS cloud-based security SIEM for any SOC. It doesn't matter if your infrastructure is cloud or on-premise or hybrid. Sumo Logic Cloud SIEM, which is born and built on AWS, is made for any and every SOC. It's an enterprise platform, enterprise solution, which will collect all your data, help you make data-driven decisions, and help you investigate threats and operational issues faster. To conclude, I would like to highlight the same 3 main areas of security or security components, security intelligence solution that we have, which is audit and compliance, a highly scalable, secure platform to store all of your data. We have numerous certifications, we have numerous attestations. Collect your data. Collection is scalable, ingest from anywhere, and get pre-built dashboards or pre-built compliance dashboards in form of applications. The second one is security analytics. You can again perform deep search, look at pre-built dashboards. You can generate alerts. This is not SIM, but imagine every single log source from where you're sending data. You will get a visibility or a visualization or a ready dashboard eventually, which will help you troubleshoot problems. We integrate threat intelligence here. We detect problems, operational and security. And we also compare your data. There is a community threat benchmarking for you to know where does your AWS service or any other application that you're looking at, where does that stand compared to other Sumo Logic customers? And finally, our last area of security intelligence is Cloud SIEM, the Cloud SIEM solution that we looked at. Continuous, constant, automatic threat correlation, threat detection, which can go back to hours, weeks, or days. A workflow which has been designed specifically for security analyst, built by the analyst for the analyst, and finally SOC automation with our automated incident severity prioritization, finally helping you with alert triage and action. The focus here is to show you the final actionable insights and help you take care of the problem of alert fatigue. Now, you guys did access the training environment. If not, please, we'll encourage that. Access the handout, access the Google Drive link in chat that Suresh has shared. But at the same time, Sumo Logic also offers a free trial sign up, a trial for 30 days. What you accessed today was a training environment with data coming in from the Sumo Logic environment. It's kind of like sample data, but you can always, and we'll share this link with you. I'll share it in the chat in a minute. You can always access the link here, register or go to sumologic.com and register a free trial for yourself. Upload your own data. So what you're currently experiencing with the training environment, which is very similar to a demo environment, you can do that with your data, with your setup. You can register for a free trial. I'll share this link in a minute. It's also available on sumologic.com, and feel free to play around, test the platform, send your data, generate dashboards, ready out of the box dashboards, and even look at Cloud SIEM. To continue this constant learning, constant education program, you can also sign up for multiple learning modules that Sumo Logic has to offer. So we have cloud security, monitoring, compliance, same the link to access our learning resources, training resources, which is completely free for every single customer, partner, non-customer, everyone, each attendee on this call can access this link, which is sumologic.com/learn/training. I'll share this link in chat in a minute. And there is a kind of like a complete guide, call it standard operating procedure, or the complete guide of everything Sumo Logic. That's help.sumologic.com. So feel free to access that. Feel free to access the training link and get certified. Look at a lot of video resources, micro lessons resources, and get yourself certified for free. If you still have questions, we have our own YouTube channel called Sumo Logic. There are multiple short videos on that particular YouTube channel for search, for tuning a rule, create a custom insight, look at Cloud SIEM, more of both CSE, Cloud SIEM Enterprise, as well as our core platform, which is intelligence platform, all in 5 minutes. With that, I'll quickly check the chat if there are any questions or any Q&A from all the attendees today. If not, let me just quickly post the links that I was talking about in the chat. Give me a minute for that. I'll quickly do that. So the first link that I spoke of was you can register a free trial. For that, you can go to sumologic.com, but the AWS link that I was talking about, I'll just paste that in the chat. So this is the link for the AWS marketplace where you can go and register. That's the first link in the chat that you will find. The training and the learning resource, that's the second link that I'm just pasting on chat. That's the learning resource link. If you're interested in accessing a guide or a complete list of SOPs on Sumo Logic, that's help.sumologic.com. I just realized that initially we were sharing the the handout and the link on for just between the panelists. So a thing that I will do now is I'll share the link with everyone. This is the link to access the handout and the guide, which will help you access the training environment. And yeah, and if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to the Sumo Logic team, to Suresh, me, Lokesh, and we'll be happy to help you with anything which is Sumo Logic, which can be solved with Sumo Logic platform. With that, thank you very much for your time. The access to the training environment, which is available in the Google Drive link that I've shared, will be available till the end of this month. The platform still continues to be there, but we change the password every month. So if you still need access in the month of March, reach out to us, join the next session that we may have, and we'll share the credentials with you for you to continue access with the training environment. With that, thank you very much for your time, everyone. Have a good day and keep learning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Suresh.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.